When the Shakahola massacre unfolded, no one had anticipated the magnitude of the horror would get to this stage. The current figures of exhumed bodies stands at 235. That is indeed a massacre. As investigations deepen and widen, new evidence continues to emerge of orgies unimaginable and unheard in the annals of Kenyan history. Pathology reports indicate that children were the worst victims. What kind of a person is Paul Mackenzie? What kind of people were his foot soldiers, the ones who helped him do such an inhumane, barbaric practice? There are indications that the cult leaders harvested body parts for whatever reason no one knows. Assumptions are that they could have been used for ritual purposes. As investigations deepen, it has come to the fore that they were sexually abused minors, and these were the first to be forced to fast. Those who did not die, it has emerged, they were strangled and suffocated to death. As more and more graves are being discovered, the problem is more widespread than initially thought. More perpetrators are believed to be on the run or hiding in the forest or elsewhere. The hunt for survivors is on, and families wait to hear about the fate of their relatives. The death toll continues to rise, and the search is on. Some starving cult members have been rescued by the search and rescue teams who have been scouring the area in Shakahola, Malindi. So far, 89 have been rescued, and some of them are in critical condition. It is estimated that around 613 people are reported to be missing. This is a large number, and this massacre has led people to think the problem is deeper and widespread than initially thought. The Malindi horror continues to unfold. Survivors have indicated that children were starved first, some were strangled, and others were buried alive if they did not die. Then the parents would follow in order to reach heaven. Those who were rescued were visibly emaciated. Victims say that they were told not to go to school, but to pray and to fast in order to meet Jesus, in order to get to heaven. Paul Mackenzie was radical in his approach. His message rejected modernity, and followers took it in hook, sink, and liner. Hundreds from within and outside Kenya followed him to the forest. Journalists and human rights activists have blamed the government for gagging the press and restricting the release of information. This, they argue, will result in more misinformation being released to the public. Some survivors believe that Mackenzie shouldn't go to jail and that he is an innocent preacher. There are others who are refusing medication and food and insisting on their continuing with their journey to heaven. This is a result of indoctrination. Their minds are so twisted that the only truth they can believe comes from Mackenzie. It has been 5 weeks since Paul Mackenzie was arrested. There are images of him smiling in police custody. The state has extended his detention by a further 30 days. The question is, will justice prevail? It's a deeply disturbing story. Mackenzie, according to one female survivor, is said to have told the people the world was coming to an end. This was frightening for his followers. He told his followers to fast as time was quickly running out. If they delayed, he reasoned, heaven would be full. This survivor escaped and saved his 5 children. She realized that something was terribly amiss. The question still remains, why was Mackenzie allowed to continue his activities when complaints started coming in, when he was arrested several times? How could this have been allowed to go on, considering the charge of radical preaching? That is the question in people's minds. What was going on? The search and rescue operations have been extended to Tsavo National Park. The mystery continues to widen. The Senate ad hoc committee which visited the Shakahola massacre sites has requested for more manpower. they realize now there is a bigger problem on their hands than previously imagined. Some of the places where the bodies were exhumed had biblical names like Bethlehem, like Galilee. Was Mackenzie normal? Was he operating in compos mentis? Counseling teams and police officers are on the ground in areas around Shakahola. These are essential for an operation of this magnitude. So far, it is estimated around 32 people have been arrested in connection with this massacre. One survivor is said to have been found tied to a tree. These are the telltale signs of an operation which was meant to make sure that people died. Mackenzie is in custody. It is said that he is demanding quality food and quality bedding while in custody. This is very ironic for someone who instigated followers to fast and to meet Jesus and to live in unbearable conditions in the forest. The poor victims of Paul Mackenzie and his team faced difficulties while his family was not involved. Whatever happened, the truth of the matter is that the government let things slide. This man and his colleagues were reported to authorities, not once, not twice, several times. However, nothing happened. This could have been prevented and lives could have been saved. The government has egg in the face for failing to take decisive actions, for failing to protect ordinary people from people who have warped up minds like Paul Mackenzie. People are preaching end-time messages. People are taking advantage of ignorance, get money and to get fame. They sold their properties, they gave money to Mackenzie, and then they died, and Mackenzie lived. This is the sad truth about modern Christians. Those who want to have it easy are manipulated by those who are cunning, deceptive, and hypocritical.